Broader markets taking a breather in July, but not Bitcoin. In the green ahead of a widely anticipated speech from former President Trump this weekend at a major crypto conference. He's also going to have a big fundraiser there. CNBC's Mackenzie Sagalos is there in Nashville, where I'm sure there's a lot of excitement building. This is not your typical Bitcoin conference.
No, it's not. It's the big flagship event of the year. As you said, Bitcoin up 5% ahead of those remarks tomorrow. The former president's total 180 on his crypto stance has made him very popular with this voting bloc. But before the Republican presidential nominee takes the stage, we're actually going to be hearing from a half dozen other Republican and Democratic lawmakers. You've got Senators Bill Hagerty, Marsha Blackburn, and Tim Scott all on the agenda for today, talking about their vision for how D.C. could shape crypto regulation in the U.S. But really, everyone is waiting to see just how far Trump will go in supporting this technology and what he promises to do for crypto innovation if reelected as president. Now, we know that in the past he's, made the suggestion that all future Bitcoin should be mined in the U.S., but he's going to have to make some big promises to live up to all of this hype. Just one example, Bitcoin got a boost to the $68,000 level briefly on Tuesday ahead of this event after reports that Senator Cynthia Lummis would introduce a bill that would require the Fed to hold Bitcoin as a strategic asset. She also speaks on Saturday, so we'll see if that comes true and if Donald Trump has any big declaration of his own. Back to you.
I think the biggest thing that we've seen in 24 is that this not only is being viewed as a more legitimate and important issue, but that transformation has actually become now bipartisan in nature.
Just there, you're hearing from BlackRock's head of digital assets. So, clearly some people within the institutional community here are hoping for this to be more of a bipartisan conversation. But overwhelmingly, I've been on the ground in Nashville since Tuesday. Everyone is talking about Trump and how they're planning to go all in for him. And they're showing up not just in person, but they're also voting with their pocketbooks.
Yeah, you mentioned the idea of government buying Bitcoin as a strategic reserve. That's certainly something. Are there any other pieces of legislation that former President Trump could talk about or show a distinction from the Biden administration, particularly the SEC and Gary Gensler, who gets the most, I think, flack for being anti-Bitcoin in this administration, where he could talk about a real agenda?
No, it's a great point. So last month, Trump was quoted as saying that he's going to end Joe Biden's war on crypto. And just as you said, Sarah, that starts with the SEC. And so he's been in conversations, being advised on who could potentially replace Gary Gensler, be more friendly to the community. He's also been talking about rolling back regulation, which is a mixed bag. Of course, we saw the washout of 2022, and a lot of that came from not having enough compliance, not enough hard and fast rules. His vice presidential pick, J.D. Vance, also has his own crypto regulation that will go up against what we're expecting to see from Senator Lummis. So a lot of different pieces out there. I think that people are very keen to see if the U.S. might add Bitcoin to its balance sheet, though.